Friends and music fans, welcome to a very special episode of the Biscuits and Gravy podcast. We are here at the 5 Points Music Sanctuary for a very special tour. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm your host, Eric Reynolds, the wonderful Maxwell Klean, Brighton Douglas, Ron Ronimus Robinson.
What's up?
And the incredible Tyler Godsey.
What's up? You guys ready?
Yes, sir.
Let's do it.
Welcome to 5 Points.
Good afternoon, friends and music fans, and welcome back down to the one and only Klean Studios for another episode of the Biscuits and Gravy podcast. You like that?
Nice.
Ladies and gentlemen, we are here in the Shangri-La of Groovy Tunes, but tonight we have turned it into a kitchen because we have, for your viewing pleasure, 4 different types of biscuits and 2 different types of gravy, which we'll be rating with our friend Tyler Godsey from 5 Points Music Sanctuary. He's a biscuit expert, actually, and you probably have never met a biscuit expert, as I hadn't, and it's very impressive because this guy knows more about biscuits than I do about my own family.
Did you see his papers? Does he have papers?
He doesn't need papers.
Oh, okay.
Frankly, he's already impressed.
He's qualified, though.
That's what I'm saying.
All right, I got it.
So we have an incredible spread for you. We have Cracker Barrel biscuits, Bojangles biscuits. We have Pillsbury biscuits that I made at home. We have Klean's biscuits of secret origin. And then
Where'd they come from?
secret.
Secret, okay.
From the country store.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay.
And then here we have my gravy, the best of the two, and then Klean's gravy.
Ooh,
boo, boo, boo.
so we got to pick.
So it's gonna be a tough competition here.
Okay.
All right. But Tyler, talk to me a little bit about biscuits and where your love from biscuits comes from.
All right, so what we're looking for with the biscuits here, right? Number one, biscuits should never crumble. If they crumble, it means that the biscuiteer didn't take enough time to mix the shortening up with the flour. Sometimes it's through a whisk and they're just rushing through it, but really when you get your hands in there and really mix the shortening up, you know that your biscuit's not going to crumble. Now, the second thing we're looking for a biscuit for, right? A biscuit comes out, you don't want it to be all dense and heavy and feel like a gut bomb. You want it to be fluffy, light, airy. So oftentimes when people are rushing through a biscuit, they end up taking a rolling pin and they're pushing way too hard. You should have a weighted rolling pin when you're rolling out your dough. And make sure you let all the weight of the rolling pin spread your dough out. Don't ever push down. Otherwise, you'll get a dense biscuit that's real hard, heavy and sometimes crispy. Now, the third thing we're looking for is what's the cleavage of the biscuit, right? What's the cleavage?
Sheesh.
And the cleavage, if you don't remember from your geology classes, is how things break. And so a biscuit needs to break when you pick it up. You should be able to pop that thing, right? And it should break off in the middle without crumbling, and then you should be able to do whatever you want to, like lather your gravy evenly on all sides. Now, the secret to making sure your biscuit rises and that the cleavage is just right. When you're cutting your biscuits, the natural motion of your hand is going to actually twist when it comes out. The trick is to go straight down, straight up, straight down, straight up. When you twist, it locks the dough in on the side, and so when the biscuit's cooking, it can't rise. So we take care of those 3 things, and you're well on your way to having a banging biscuit.
Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any more comprehensive than that. You are just 3 important steps away from creating an incredible biscuit. But right here, we are going to dig into these and let you know the results over on the couch. But we're not going to show Breezy eating, although we do know that you love mukbang content.
A lot of requests for that.
Lot of requests for that. Way too many. But yeah, guys, let's like Max likes to say, let's eat.
First rule of thumb when we come here, first step, everyone to take a deep breath. Breathe in with me and out. All right, we relax. And for this place is all about, remind ourselves how lucky we are to be in this moment, be able to do cool shit. Thank y'all for coming. Let's take a look at the place. This is also our ADA bathroom, so you won't have to worry about anyone else, but ADA guests and staff will be back there. You can go get pretty in there if you really need to. But this is where all the stuff gets stored. For years, it was not nearly as organized as it is today. Now we got the green room upstairs, but we're going to show you guys where to set everything up out here first. Y'all ready to check out the venue? We'll take y'all upstairs in a little bit.
Boom.
Here you go.
Boom. Boom. I love it.
All right, so we have a 250 cap room tonight. This is normally what we look like when we open up the shows. We got a beautiful mezzanine up top, and we've got a little merch and a beautiful bar in the back. Every table you see here, are hand whacked on and whacked off to get it to where it was. I used to travel around on Facebook, and I would buy a board at a time. Now, what's really cool about this place, people look at the lights up top, and they look like they're original. However, when I came in here 9 years ago, it was all track lighting. Drop down right here. The building used to be an interior decorating firm. All the chandeliers you see in the building came from Thelma's Chicken and Waffles.
No way.
And all the flat stools you see came from Thelma's Chicken and Waffles.
Wow.
Let's go take a little tour. Let's go further. So if you guys got merch, you got anything y'all selling tonight, this is where it happens. One of the things we also do here, this is our sensory experience station. At our show, we have things like sub packs, and we have headphones that we give to people for people with hearing, protect their hearing. We have silent disco headphones that feed into the concerts, feed into the person wearing it, so they can feel the vibrations of the music. If you have sensory issues, you have hearing loss, or if you just want to chomper-proof the show, you can put on these headphones and you can check out the show without anyone interrupting you. Other programs that we offer are things like colorblind and light-sensitive glasses. We offer free color therapy glasses. We have free high-fidelity earplugs that we give to adults and free kids headphones that we offer to kids. When we go to festivals, we provide free flashlights for those with low-light vision issues. The goal with all these programs is to remind people that the idea of ADA and accessibility is not just about the blacks and the whites. It's not that I don't see or I don't hear. It's that the reality is we're all operating in shades of gray. And when we think about that, we realize there are a lot of other things right at our fingertips that we've never thought about from an accessibility standpoint that really are just more universal concepts of thought and experience. And that's what we try to explore here.
Nice.
So we have all types of events here. We have concerts, we have weddings, we have celebrations of life, we have workshops for music therapy training, continuing education programs. We have seminars, and we have meditation classes. We have all types of stuff that we do here. It's not just our concerts. It's really the other 300 days a year that we focus on our real programs. And those are how how we use this space to help other organizations fundraise for their own growth, how we work with our music therapy program at a lower level, and our music education program with treble makers. Let's go down and check that out. Down here, we have our music therapy studios, as well as our music education program. These programs are independent companies that operate out of the venue. We offer a variety of ways in which customers or clients can engage with their programs as they wish. Anderson Music Therapy is an awesome team. They provide music therapy for us year-round to all types of individuals with special needs. Our music education program with Candace Blair and Treble Makers Music has moved in here in April. And she has ukulele orchestras, she has vocal classes, she has piano lessons. All day long, we're making music down here with kids with various different experiences. Back here, we have this is kind of like a multi-use room. This is where the bridal suite is for weddings and things like that. When we have a wedding, we strip this thing down and set it up for a real nice bridal suite. But this is also where we have group music therapy and group education classes. We have a little small kitchen back there, but we don't really cook anything out of it. We just, we're not commercial. Right here, 5 Point, welcome back. Chalk Dinosaurs, give it up, Chalk Dinosaurs, come out here. You gotta know what this place is all about. We have intent, we have purpose, and we have meaning in our lives. Sometimes things don't always happen right when we want them, or when we think about it, but we sit back. And we provide those three elements, intent, purpose, and action. We can have faith and trust that gravity can pull everything where it's supposed to be. And tonight, gravity has pulled all you fine humans and Dizgo and Chalk Dinosaur right here to the sanctuary. We're gonna rock out all night, have some fun. You guys sit tight. Dizgo's gonna be out here, all right? When they come out, I want y'all to hoop. I want you to holler, show them all that 5 Point love. I know you got it. Thank you.
friends, welcome back over to the couches. We will have the results for the biscuits and gravy taste test for you at the end of the episode, so you'll have to stick around to hear those. But first, we've got some excellent chat with our guest, Tyler Godsey. Of course, I'm your host, Eric Reynolds. This is my co-host, Brighton Douglas, noted Chad Michael Murray lookalike.
Me and Klean.
Yeah, well, no, I think Klean's more, Klean's kind of like the bad guy, in the teen show. He's more like the bad boy that comes in from out of town, and he really shakes things up.
I gotcha. He's like a season 3 guy.
Yeah, he reminds me of, if anybody's seen the OC, he's kind of like Volchek.
Okay.
That's a deep cut, but any OC fans out there, you know what I'm talking about.
Nice.
He's a bad boy. He's got bad intentions.
I don't think I know OC.
OC's a good show.
Is that an acronym or is that
the OC? Yeah, it's like Orange County.
Oh, okay.
In California.
I've never seen it.
It's worth your time. We won't get into it too much. That's not what this podcast is about. It could be, but that's not what this podcast is about.
Right.
And of course, also joining us on the couch is the handsome and talented Maxwell Klean, our super producer, the ultra talented owner operator of Klean Studios LLC, and the driving force behind this soul train of ours.
Thanks, buddy.
How are you doing today?
It has actually been a great day. I love productive days, and
Hell yeah.
it was just one thing after the other we were knocking out today. So yeah, it was great. How about you? How you been doing? No one ever asked you how you're doing.
Nobody ever asked me. How
Way to
I'm
flip the
doing.
tables.
Does it
okay?
matter?
It doesn't. At the end of the day,
Of course it matters.
who's watching for the tears of the clown? That's what I ask. No, I'm kidding. I'm doing well. I'm excited to be down here. I was really excited to take the tour of 5 Points yesterday.
It was awesome.
It was a really good time. I've been there a couple of times from the audience perspective, but getting to see it from the artist's perspective, getting to hear kind of what you say to the artists and how you get them primed for giving an awesome show, and also understanding kind of the value of a space like that, and the deeper meaning behind the sanctuary as opposed to just a venue. So I think that really that's where I'd like to start. This is 5 Points Music Sanctuary. It's not just a concert hall or a bar, or a lot of the other places where people will go to see music. So talk to me about what makes 5 Points a sanctuary.
Well, oftentimes we think about what 5 Points does is they think about it sometimes just through the spirit of our concerts and our events. And when we do our events, they are fundamentally a part of how we fund, promote, and develop our programs. As a nonprofit, our mission is to pursue the power of sound. And when we think about that, we use these shows as a way to explore other ideas of how sound and the idea itself can impact our lives in other ways. At our venue at the Sanctuary, in the lower level, we have a year-round music therapy and education programs that we offer to all different types of individuals with various special needs and circumstances. They range from 3 years old with Down syndrome to kids with autism to veterans with PTSD. We work with our community and our other events around the region, festivals, to expand and enhance ADA programs and accessibility concepts. At our shows, we start these programs by seeing how people engage with things like silent disco headphones for shows and sub packs that take the vibrations of the person wearing it. We try to figure out how best to distribute headphones or work to create sound-friendly decibels so when you come to an event, you don't always have to walk away with your ears burning. Nope. We take these programs at our events, and then we go and expand them to work with. We just got back last week from Healing Appalachia in Kentucky with Chris Stapleton, Tyler Childers, a bunch of infamous string dusters, a bunch of badasses. And there's 27,000 people down there. And we've been working with Healing Appalachia for 3 years, in which we've gone in and helped them to develop and run an ADA program. And for 27,000 people, we provided mobility support services. We gave away hundreds of kids' headphones for kids that were there, as well as hundreds of high-fidelity audio earplugs for adults. We provided service we set up an ADA viewing deck. We had about 125 people on our viewing deck, and then we set up the headphones and backpacks and allowed people with sensory issues and hearing loss and they could take these things all over the festival and listen to multiple stages at once. And these programs that they started out of the sanctuary. And the sanctuary is this little root of thought in which we come together and remind ourselves of the opportunities we have in life and how we can channel that idea and perspective into points of creative output that bring meaning and value to the world around us is largely what kind of drives me and what drives our organization.
I'm gonna live way up in the holler. Can't stand the city no more. Working all my life trying to make a dollar. Wish things are how they were before. I'm gonna sweep you off your feet. Gonna take you to higher ground. We can dance the night away, but we ain't got a fool around.
So this here is our 5 Points Creative Lab. If you know anything about Cloud Bobby, he is our 5 Points archivist and maven of all things behind the lens. And Max Pritz is our production manager, and so much more than that. He is one of the guys that's been with me through thick and thin, and is just one of the most amazing humans, but unbelievably talented in terms of his production capacity, creative capacity. He's just a badass.
And you got like the coolest posters that I've seen on
Every
walls
single
anywhere.
poster.
Like,
Yes.
Yeah, it's like they're all gnarly. Is there one person who kind of does the majority of them? I mean, it's definitely got to be a mixture.
Yeah, if you look at the totality of them, one guy that does a majority of them over the life of our poster designs is named Matt Browning.
Okay.
I met Matt. He was the lead singer in a band called the Floorboards. Is the lead singer in a band called the Floorboards. And this was in, I think, my first year of opening. And they decided, they were like, we're going to do an album release here, a local band. And I said, I need some help. I need to do something that works. So he really put a lot of time and energy into this new album they released called Borrowed Moon. And he comes in and he's got all types of George Dickel whiskey bottles and like dried flowers and stuff that he paints the room with. And then he had stage props that include the giant moon behind him. And like it was like the first guy that came in here and really thought about the production.
Yeah.
Not just taking for granted, what we were doing, but just thought about the next level of it. He made these posters that were really cool, like, one color press posters. And I was like, man, this is really awesome. Like, who did all this? And he's like, I did. And I was like, you do this? And he's like, well, I did it for a band, And I said, but you don't do this for anyone else? And he's like, no, I've never thought of myself as an artist. I'm going to hire you for a lot of stuff. Would you like to work with me? And what began as just sort of initial show evolved into a relationship in which we both get value out of challenging each other creatively.
Right.
And sometimes you want to rubber stamp something because you got to put something together. Fuck that. Don't rubber stamp it. Just say you can't make it work. Learning to give in sometimes when the creative flow just didn't add up. It's something that I think we all need from an artistic standpoint, because it doesn't always add up. Doesn't mean you can't use it, right? It's put on the shelf,
Yeah.
Put on the shelf until you have some other epiphany down the road that sort of manifests an expression back into that. Let's grind our way upstairs to the mezzanine. This is another manifestation of what we do here. So not only do we use the music as a way to create platforms for musical expression, but we use our events as a way to create platforms for installation art concepts as well. We do all different types. I don't think about art in any singular form. It's a very amorphous concept. But this guy was made by an awesome dude named Barry Keller, and I love him. It embodies so much of what we do here.
It's all metal?
Yeah.
Wow.
It's all welded.
And so out here is where our front of house is. Great tech team here. I think one of the most important things that has gotten us to where we are is our staff. If you read everything about 5 Points Music Sanctuary on Google, almost unequivocally, the first thing you will hear is that it's the staff that makes this place what it is. And that's really, it couldn't be anything more true. Our production team We have an amazing different light guys that come in here. But Max Pritz is the man behind the scenes on all of this. We have video streaming capabilities on multiple videos throughout the building. And we have an Apex sound system in here that was designed by Stage Sound shortly after the pandemic. When I started this, I started our first PA for $1,600 on an auction. I had to drive to DC to pick up this one sub and these two QSC HP 115s speakers. And for the first 4 years, we built this place on a $1,600 PA system. And we brought in artists from all over the world that came here from Buckethead and Melvin Seals and Jeff Austin and musicians that would never ever look at those tech specs and be like, that's where I'm going to go play. They just wouldn't. They never asked for them. Largely because they understood what this place was. It wasn't just about the specs. We had, if we didn't have the text right, but we had everything else right. You know, we had a great team. We had a good energy. We had a good mission. And all that comes together, like it sort of drove us to where we were. And as we fought our way through the pandemic, we were fortunate to get a lot of money from the National Independent Venue Association that came together and represented venues from all across the country that support and create the sustainable level of artistic expression in our communities. And if we don't have venues like independent venues popping off in every community, we will lose those platforms, and it's really, really difficult for people to get them back, you know, because it's not always about the economics of it, but it is. And that's one of the hardest things about music today, is that it is not always about the economics. We want it to be about the art, but the economics are something we can't ignore anymore.
at 5 Points, you guys have had a lot of incredible artists, and I will never ask you to pick your favorite because it's just a silly question.
That's hard.
But who is one act that genuinely surprised you? Whether it was not what you were expecting, or just their personality was different than the music, or who was one act that surprised you in a positive way?
You can think about it in a lot of different ways. You can talk about cover bands or tribute bands that come in and then one person, during the sound check and setup, and you dip away to get the show going, and then you come back into the green room and everybody got on wigs and looks completely different. You're like, what the hell happened to all of them? Right? And it's kind of funny how like somebody that doesn't look anything like that person just goes and transforms with a wig and like a tank top and like a necklace, and all of a sudden they look like John Bonham.
Yeah.
And but those are funny things. I mean, I think that there's some musicians that have come there and absolutely blown me away, and like many of them, they come in with when they understand what we do there, they prime themselves to put something together that's epic.
Yeah.
And I think that that's one of the things that's probably been the biggest surprise that I get, is that every band that leaves there will generally, like, it is not an uncommon thing to say, and I'm sure they say this to a lot of places, but they all say that was one of the greatest sets or performances we've had this year.
Yeah.
Or what we did there and tonight, I don't think you realize was something like some of the best music we've ever. Like they leave feeling genuinely like they just put something together that they hadn't been able to put together anywhere else. That's what surprised me.
Yeah.
That I thought that it would be special, but I didn't really think that like it would have that consistent, ongoing impact that was not only a real impact, but it was something that people felt they needed to express to me. And that means a lot to me. That means a lot to the staff and the people that come to the shows, right? That's why people come back, because they're like, whatever happened last night, that shit was bad. I don't know what I felt, but I felt something.
Can't explain it.
Yes. Yeah. What are some technologies that maybe aren't ready for mass deployment yet, but that are coming for people who are seeking this kind of accessibility?
Cool technology down the road for me. As I look at things like, very fascinated with somatics.
Yeah.
Somatic is the visualization of sound. And so there are already technologies that feature somatic lighting concepts. It's not indifferent to concepts like, if you see like the vibrational trays that vibrate the sand and create these mandalas of and it's based on the hertzes that come out. So imagine that's a visual representation of sound. And I've always been fascinated with how would you, if you don't have an interpreter, how would you offer things like, is it even possible to provide a closed caption for someone during a show?
For music.
Right? But the technology is there in some capacity. Certainly not deployable for me right now.
Right.
But I look at things down the road, like, are there apps that will allow me to turn on a microphone?
Yeah.
And parse the words, if it used Shazam to align with a song, and at least align the song that they hear with the lyrics associated with it, and then use whatever AI you could associate with a jam, so it's not just predicated on the 3.5-minute song. You know what I mean? I see down the road ideas in which closed captions could be.
Wild.
Yeah.
Certainly. It just takes somebody wanting to really figure that out, but I don't see why that wouldn't be something to be done. I like the idea of production-related concepts. Like somatic lighting would be something I would look at. I think that I've like to figure out a way to make sign language more accessible for small to mid-sized venues. There's some thought that I had with, like, if you had locals that come to your show and they're a fan of a band, then could you create sort of a hybrid model of performance-based interpreters that could come in, and they might not be able to get it all perfect, but to the extent that there's a form of expression that allows people to develop a new appreciation for what sign language is.
Yeah.
I think that there would be value in that. You can't always hire somebody, and it costs like $1,500 to bring in an interpreter for a show. Bear in mind, that doesn't even provide a performance-based concept. That's more of a service-based for an individual that might need it. The way I think about it is that the performance-based concept of sign languaging for a show allows for an audience that's less just exposed to that form of art, if you will, to develop an appreciation for a different audience. And they put themselves in an empathetic point of thought about someone else. And I think that those are really healthy constructs that you get out of these live events. So we've kind of worked our way through. The last thing to do, guys, if you are here, one of the things I promised everybody is the finest in Southern hospitality. I'm going to take you guys to the green room where we got everything a grown boy and girl needs up there for you to relax and get ready for the big show. All right, so here you go. We got a little bit of snacks and waters, coffee. There's some chairs and everything here. We have some posters for you guys to sign. Make sure everybody comes in here. We only do about 30 of these posters a show, so we always try to have a couple for the artists, but sometimes they sell. If you could sign a couple of them, they go on the Wall of Fame. One or two of them goes to auctions for later on to sell down the road and raise money as a nonprofit here. And then another one goes into my kids' catalog that I save for my kids.
Nice.
That's awesome.
What's up with them up there? Like the hat and everything.
So,
What's up with them?
this is more of my art. I make these giant paper mache heads, or have made, from an artist named Brian Coonahan. And I love absurd art. I love things that make you stop and kind of think. But each piece I've done over the course of the years. There's a Father Time that we have back there that I wear for New Year's Eve when I come out, and I have like a giant toga robe, and I wear the Father Time when I come on the stage. Now what I did with him is I make different hats, so that in July we turn Father Time into Uncle Sam.
Yes.
And then I have another one where he's like a king during May Day. Just, blue sort of dragon-looking guy. His name's Smitty. Now Smitty is the lead character in a local children's author's book called The Hunt for Smitty. And it's a story about these little boys and kids in the neighborhood that go hunt for Smitty at Smith Mountain Lake. And he's like this mythical beast. And so when I heard he was doing this, I said, I would like to make a mascot to go on your book tour. And he had a little local authors and went on a book tour, and we made him a mascot that would go with his thing. And then I got to keep the head afterwards, and he just used the head.
Smitty.
The cat is actually part of 8 pieces. It takes 8 dancers to wear this.
Oh, wow.
And that was a collaboration with the Roanoke Ballet Theater. And they called me asking if I could help them make this project that they had seen done in like London. And it was each piece is like 4 legs and a tail and 2 bodies and then a head. And so you have dancers that wear black like tights, and they wear this thing, and it's like 8-foot tall Cheshire cat for Alice in Wonderland.
Whoa.
And it dances with each of the dancers like in the black light sort of deal. But yeah, those are just other little ways in which we go to like the Daisy Art Parade, which is in April every year. Amazing group of people that make other similar stuff. Brian Coonahan's really the man behind all this. And he's just another one of the regional like creative like mavens that's not out for glory. He's not trying to get rich. He just likes to do cool shit.
Yeah.
And you just need to find a way to make it sustainable to allow him to spend the time.
That's it.
On these kind of things so that we can have these outbursts of absurdity and expression of creativity within our communities. Some of these artists just need to figure out how to make enough time. And the value of time has gotten so expensive.
It is time for me to kick it over to the king of pep talks, the absolute #1 promo cutter, the dog among dogs, the king of kings, Ron himself. Ron, it is time for your segment, and I'll let you introduce it.
All right. I appreciate the handoff, Eric. So Tyler, we have a little thing we do here. It's called gas or trash. We're gonna take a step from the music, consider it like a vibe check, or just to see how your mind really works, how you feel about certain things. And yeah, I'm just gonna toss a couple of things up here, and we're just gonna chat. Are they gas or are they trash? First on the list, popcorn.
Gas I like, or trash I throw away.
Yes. Yeah.
Gas.
Popcorn in general? Gas. Yeah,
gas on
consensus,
popcorn.
right?
You got to put butter on it.
Of course,
You do have to have butter on there.
Facts.
No,
Absolutely.
you do. What, okay, well, how do you feel
gas
about
with the butter?
the different flavored dusts
No.
that you could put, like the cheese
Nah.
dust and
Okay,
shit?
see, people
Nope.
stinge on it though.
No.
I think
They don't
as
apply
a kid,
enough.
I thought it was awesome.
Yeah,
and then
as
I
an adult,
became an adult, and I was like,
it gets all over your fingers.
Yeah.
Well, they just kind of taste.
I agree.
It doesn't
I agree.
work how it's
Salt and
supposed
butter,
straight
bro.
MSG butter.
Just
from the,
nice, yeah.
the
Salt
movie
and
theater
butter.
butter. Yep.
MSG
all I
butter.
need.
Yep.
I will say, when I was on a weight cut, I wasn't putting butter on it, but I was actually switching up, and I was doing lime and tahini.
Oh, damn.
that's gotta be
That's
gas.
probably good. That's
Some
probably good.
Hispanic,
That's
some
definitely
lemon,
good.
some salt,
I bet
and I was like, wow,
That's
this is
gotta be
not bad.
good.
You
Probably
also
good.
know, if you know Tapatio, the hot
Yeah,
sauce,
love Tapatio.
Oh, yeah.
I would put that on there too, and then you got this little Hispanic popcorn
Hold
blend.
on.
On the popcorn?
It's pretty bomb.
That is.
Ladies
I'm
and
not gonna
gentlemen,
That's a
lie.
must
if you're
try.
trying to get to fighting weight like Klean, that's a good recipe for you. You eat a whole bowl
Write
of that and then
that
cry yourself to
down.
sleep.
Spicy, and there's not many calories in popcorn.
That's it.
So.
All right,
Okay.
So we'll gas the popcorn in a lot of forms.
I'm also
Yes.
gas. I do have trouble with it getting stuck in my teeth at times, so it's kind of but it is gas. Now, in addition to this, right? What about like sweet popcorn, like the
Like
caramel
kettle corn?
popcorn?
Yeah, that's
Or
that's
like-
a gas as well.
That's a gas.
What
yeah.
if we like put other stuff in it, like M&Ms and pretzels?
I
Like,
mean,
Sure.
I'll eat the shit out of caramel corn.
yeah.
Caramel
yeah.
corn.
Oh, yeah.
I
It is
love
doable.
kettle corn. I don't like. I'm not a like cheddar popcorn. I'm not like a huge fan.
Yeah.
of.
Yeah.
I eat it, but like if you
Sorry.
the big
It's not my
bins that got like
favorite.
the 3-way, they got the butter, and
Yep.
they got the
Yeah,
caramel.
yeah,
yeah.
The cheese is always the last
It's
one.
the
that
last
gets eaten.
one. You eat it, but you're not like, ooh, let me get on this.
Caramel joint.
Yeah,
on
yeah.
first.
You work your way to it. And you're like,
That's it.
Popcorn, definite gas.
That's gas.
We'll take a step to the side here. You guys know this guy? This is Jimmy Kimmel, late night TV host.
Wrong.
How does he? If you want to go into depth about how he ranks amongst
Jimmy
the other
Kimmel.
hosts,
I mean, look, dude, you got to gas the hell out of that. The fact of the matter is, like Kimmel's like was like he's like a martyr for free speech right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the way that we're treating people for like saying shit is like, especially when we're threatening people to like lose their jobs,
Yeah.
and,
Yeah.
like threaten industries with the government and all that, to hell with all that. Where like it's antithetical to me when you talk about like the idea of the government coming and telling everyone what the hell they got to say.
Yes.
And you've got to have a thick enough skin to let people say bad shit about you. And I know that there's times when things people say really hurt,
It's true.
but it doesn't matter. It's what someone else thinks. And if you let it bother you so much, like I can get to the sense of like, we're talking about people that are largely successful in their own realm. Just stay in your court,
Yeah,
Like,
right.
don't, it's like, there's no, like, you don't need to get everybody to be on your side. And we don't need to have one voice. We need to have many. We
Yeah.
do need to have people that can shut up and listen.
Right.
And we do need to have people that can exercise free speech with a sense of respect for one another. Because that's really what it comes down to. Is like, when we started this whole project here, it was about a bunch of people that came from a land and that they couldn't practice their own like religions, and they wanted to have some way to like do it in their own realm.
Right.
And the idea was like, okay, you can do that, but don't encroach that shit on me. I don't want to hear about it. I don't want to see it.
Yep.
I'm not going to give you, like, if you want to go into your home and pray to whatever God it is you want, or you want to think about whatever it is you want to think about, that's fine. But don't force me to be exposed to the consequences of that thought. Don't make me have to follow your line of thought. You can have it. It doesn't mean you're entitled to get it.
Yeah.
And I think we've gotten to a point today where people think that if I think something, then it needs to happen. or it's like if I think something and I deserve this that's not the way any of this shit works.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, the thoughts that we have and the ideas that we have are largely a bunch of compromises in life. You know, we wanted cannabis to be legal for decades and decades, and it finally gets legalized, and it's sort of not legal, and then it's like kind of is, and it's like now they want to tax it even more, so we don't really know what we're doing. It's a compromise that comes with these things, and at the end of the day, it's messy, but it does shift and change.
For sure.
Gas.
I'll be honest. I've never watched an episode of Jimmy Kimmel.
Yeah.
Also
Yeah.
true.
I don't
Never.
care.
Kimmel
Also
is
true.
one of those. I think
The Man Show.
Yeah.
He was the
Yes.
shit on the
Yeah.
Man Show.
Yeah.
And so he's been
The
doing
Man
this for a
Show.
long time.
Man Show that's a deep
with
cut.
Adam Carolla.
Yeah.
And it was like, what, 90s or 2000s?
Late '90s, early 2000s.
Well-
he did the Man Show. It was mostly like Man on the Street stuff,
Yeah.
and they did kind of like guy centric humor type stuff. And then
Okay.
he slotted into his late night spot, and to his credit, he has incredible staying power. Personally, not somebody I would rank very high amongst like the pantheon of greats, but
Yeah.
it's also a pantheon full of some of the funniest comedians of all time.
Right.
And he's in that he's in that list. But
Well, I'm gassed
in
for
the
free
current
speech,
context,
so.
gas fully behind him, fully behind standing up. To any government should not have anything to do with talk show hosts, and you should be able to get on TV
We shouldn't
and
be
say
out there espousing
anything.
hate. I mean, like, you're like, so you take the other side of this too, and you people, okay, well, if that's the case, then the other people get angry about shit people say on Fox News about, there wasn't an election, the election was stolen or whatever. And so, like, you get to this, like, very, like, gray area of where freedom of speech becomes this expression of an opinion versus manifestations of facts that force the world to reconcile with whatever you think is supposed to happen, right? So they say, well, these are the facts that we think are happening in the newscast, and this is why we need to crack down on this, or we need to, arrest this person, and those facts get misrepresented in a lot of ways. For someone to be up there to express an opinion, and then Jimmy Kimmel is not making you watch his show. Jimmy Kimmel is not making you pay his taxes.
No.
Jimmy Kimmel is not taking away your health care. No. Jimmy Kimmel is not taking away your kids' access to school.
No.
Jimmy Kimmel is not taking liberties with our military that have consequences beyond anyone's understanding.
Yeah. Right.
There are a lot of things that Jimmy Kimmel has no control over. He's just getting up there and he's expressing an opinion. And if you don't like it, turn the fucking channel.
That's it.
Yeah.
Turn the channel off.
Like
You
anything.
can't turn the channel all the time when it comes to our elected officials. And, it doesn't matter what side of the fence you're on. You can't turn the channel. And so it's important for those elected officials to not overwhelm, in my mind, to overwhelm the public with their presence and to let the public sort of dictate their own thoughts and beliefs. Let it happen.
Yeah.
Be confident enough in your own skin and your own beliefs that you don't feel worried about it. And there's an open idea of debate that this whole thing was built on. This whole shit was built on the idea of debate. And none of it made sense to them at the beginning, but they had to debate their way through it.
Did you say gas or trash on Kimmel?
I did not, but I will go gas.
Okay. Did you say?
We're behind Kimmel. I say gas.
Okay. All right. You got
I'm
it.
just
Shout out.
gas on late night hosts
popcorn,
in general.
We are
Facts,
gassed
facts.
up right now. All popcorn, all gas.
I
What
think,
else
yeah,
you
we're
got,
all-
Ron?
We're all on
Give me
we're
some
all
of
on
that.
Now
a-
that I
What you
have
got,
you
brother?
right where I want you,
Oh, here we go.
Oh God.
We were all in
Cigarette
alignment.
gas.
how do we feel about darts?
Trash,
Gas.
trash.
I had
Okay,
a feeling this
Wiz-
was coming.
You say it's
So-
trash.
I do.
I will raise you a black and mild.
Yeah, true. What are you gonna do?
It's not what's on the screen.
It's not the same. It's not the same.
Is it black and mild gas or trash? Then?
Of course it
Or
will.
Wiz.
Wood wine tip, yes.
Okay.
Cigarette, ass.
That's the classic.
Pause.
Okay.
I will say cigarettes are gas.
Nope.
Marlboro Southern Cut specifically. But and this is coming from not a cigarette smoker like daily, but
Man, just a fan.
there are certain experiences or moments that can only be punctuated by smoking a cigarette. And
Such as?
Such as
breaking up with someone you've been with for a long time,
A cigarette fixes that?
No, it doesn't fix it. It doesn't fix anything.
A Marlboro
Must be
Southern-
something
But
in
it's
them
just,
Southern
it's just
cuts.
it's the perfect
Somebody
thing
get this man a
for the
cigarette.
moment.
And it's the Marlboro Southern Mild. Is that what it is? I've never even heard of the Southern Mild.
Southern cut. It's just a Southern cut. I don't know. It's just what that one is.
Like,
I can see it's a
I
vibe.
think
It's a vibe.
after a long day of not eating, not because you're dieting, but because you don't have any money, having a Diet Coke and a cigarette is really an incredible experience.
This
If you've
angle
never
is
done it before,
crazy.
if you've never done it before, and I wouldn't recommend do it every day.
I smoke. I have to admit, it's like everyone got habits that they don't think they really need to have, but I smoke. There's a lot of reasons to it. You're 100% right. There are many moments in life when a cigarette is absolutely perfect to have. You know, I come out of a concert, you know, and I like dance my ass off, and I'm like, a cigarette's perfect. A cup of coffee in the morning and a cigarette is really one of the best combos you can get. When my staff is all taking breaks and they're all taking smoke breaks, and I used to not smoke, and I would go out back, and this was the early years when we were working at the sanctuary, and I would go out back, and there'd be like 6 people back there, and there's like 8 people working all together, and 6 of them were smoking cigarettes. And I'm like, what are y'all doing back
The
here?
whole crew's out there.
Yeah, they just, well, there's not that many people, there's not much work, whatever. So I started smoking with them, and part of the benefit of that was I would be sitting out back with them, and so I figured if they weren't going to be in there working, I'll at least just talk to them about work while I'm outside. So I just completely crapped on their smoke break. And then, I start talking about work, I'll be like, so here's what I need you to do. Yeah. They put that cigarette out and go back inside.
I think it's crazy that like music and cigarettes are so inextricable, but like if you spend any amount of time around musicians, you will you'll smoke a cigarette or two. I used to live with musicians in Blacksburg, and you find yourself hanging out in the house, and everybody just kind of float outside, for 30 minutes at a time, and you're like, where'd everybody go? Yeah. And you realize that you're missing on the smoke circle, which is a whole different experience in and of itself. But like that post-concert cig or the post-show cig.
And the post-biscuits and gravy cigarette tonight was actually really good.
Yes. That one's going to hit. That one's going to hit. Ladies and gentlemen, the post-biscuits and gravy cigarette.
I'm gonna say it's trashy
1.
gas. It's like, it's like Getty Mart gas.
Great answer.
Great
answer. Okay. Getty Mart gas, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.
Nice.
All right.
I think, I didn't say it. But
go ahead. What do you got?
I'll probably actually stick with you. I don't smoke cigs, but I don't know. I have smoked some cigs that is very pleasurable. I really enjoyed the cig. Here's what's really trash about them is that, dude, you cannot get the smell like off your hands
True.
after you smoke a cig. I think that's the thing that drives me
That's why I don't smoke
but
them.
In
general,
I hate
but they
the
are
lingering
enjoyable.
Smell, but the actual, smoke a lot of weed, and I absolutely love just the habit, the habitualness, and the vibe of like having a joint. It definitely is chilling.
You should try rolling your own cigarette.
Yeah.
Also enjoyable.
That's a good idea.
All right.
What's
up next?
What do you got, Ron?
Fall just started recently.
Okay,
it is also the 1st of October as we're recording this, the greatest month of the year, and this is the greatest season of all time.
Ronto.
I don't care what your answer is. That is correct. Carry on. Conversation. Any thoughts?
Guys?
Comments?
Fall's gas.
Anyone want to say it's not gas and you prefer summer?
No.
I'm waiting. One of y'all prefers summer over fall, so someone go ahead and fess up.
Oh, facts. I mean, I definitely.
Yeah, there it
prefer
is.
summer over fall,
Yep,
for sure.
yep. I'm
I
sure.
am preferable to spring as far as like the transitionary holidays over
right.
fall, but I do love fall. I think the great thing about Virginia is that we have 4 seasons in balance. And
Yes.
I think that they're all long enough that I enjoy them and then get to not enjoy them in a cycle,
Yeah.
And it's like there's, if we have a good year, there'll be 3 really great weeks of peak fall weather.
Yeah.
And I'm looking forward to that.
That's what I live all the other months for. No.
I mean, fall is definitely gas. I was gonna say it's my favorite, but I really don't know. I think I just.
Oh, come on.
What season it
here
is?
and the now.
Hell no.
It's
I do.
grind season.
I enjoy them all.
Time.
I like wearing
degrees.
jackets. I
It
have a lot of
is.
jackets, so I like the. I like
Hey,
the.
yeah,
I like to layer up.
for that
People who
reason.
like to dress up,
The
or whatever,
drip
they
goes
normally
crazy
like
in the fall.
because it's the perfect time
Yeah.
where you can put layers on.
Yes.
You get all these
And
cool
you're not
combinations.
sweating
The
and shit.
summers,
You can't
kinda
do
gotta
that
be
in
a
the
bit
summer,
more
bro.
Stripped down or whatever.
true. Yeah.
So
I only got so many t-shirts and shorts.
fall's
I'm
definitely
100% gas all the way on fall.
Yes.
It's like, if you gave me the opportunity to live 365 days a year and have it split evenly between spring and fall, I'd take it.
Oh yeah.
You know, I could give up on summer and winter if you told me I only had 2.
Yes.
Yeah.
But fall, you got football season comes back in.
Mhm.
You can start to have bonfires
Yep.
and little fires in the house and the smell of wood. It's like a really nice nostalgic thing for me. As you say, you can pimp yourself out. You got your hoodie weather. The leaves. I think fall is by far and away like my favorite time of the year.
Yeah, the whole
fall's
aesthetic.
dope. I
The
mean,
whole
you-
aesthetic is pretty awesome.
Thanksgiving's
Who's it-
still fall.
That's a ball knower
Yeah,
right
facts.
there.
Thanksgiving is still fall too. I mean,
Facts.
that's,
Yeah, all the
I
way
mean,
till November.
Yeah, Klean's a
Yeah.
pumpkin spice
I will
latte,
say
girl.
I always get
Yeah,
headaches in the
but-
fall, and I still love it.
Yeah.
It's like the pollen. It's like the dander or
Yeah,
whatever.
it's
Yeah.
tough.
Oh, I got
It's
you.
tough
Yeah.
this time
I
of year.
don't think about it like that, but I have always gotten like bad headaches
yeah.
in the fall. But I still love it. I'll
Hey, you
fight through
said
it.
football season. You got a team?
So. Yeah. I have. Stick with me. 3 teams.
Oh boy.
Is it okay? Good.
There's a
Okay.
legit reason for it,
All right.
right? But I really root for 2 teams: the Steelers and the
Steel
Redskins.
City, baby.
Now,
Yeah.
the
Okay.
Commanders or whatever you want to call
Yeah,
them. So, my grandfather and the other team is the Lions. But my grandfather is an NFL Hall of Fame football player.
Whoa.
Oh.
He was inducted in 1966, and he was Art Rooney's very first draft pick in 1941 of the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Oh.
Get
no,
outta
no
here.
way.
Yo.
Yep.
Pretty sick.
And so I grew up going and surrounded by football.
Yeah.
And the Redskins, Commanders, whatever you want to call them, we go to all other games. We had go in there and see my grandfather's name up on the marquee behind the seats.
Wow.
And, I would go to the Hall of Fame award induction ceremony with my grandfather. I have dinner with John Madden sitting right next to you. And I go down the
That's
bar
crazy.
Dude.
with Michael Irvin sitting right next to me talking shit to Thurman Thomas across the ring about
Get
not having any wins.
out.
And it was I get in the elevator and Bruce Smith is sitting in there and I'm like,
Legend.
oh, dude, it was badass by every measure. It was really something like it was surreal. And my grandfather was old school, so he inducted in the 3rd year, and he played both ways back in the day. He played halfback, defensive back, punt returner, kicker, quarterback. There are 12 ways to score a point in an NFL game. My grandfather scored 11 of them.
Wow.
Wow.
Damn.
I wonder how many people have that stat. Got to be.
That's incredible.
I
Next
would
to-
say next
That's
to
probably
none.
Nah.
very small.
He led every team he ever played for in scoring. He never played on a winning team though. He always played on those teams that were struggling. But so I grow up. I root for the Steelers and the Redskins every year.
Nice.
Nice.
And
I'm
if I
a-
get
I'm
that,
a-
I'm in a no-lose situation. In this
That's it. That's it.
I'm a Detroit Lions fan.
There you go. That
From
was his last
Detroit,
team he
so-
played for, and he always talks shit about the ownership.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
Like that.
Where there is a football.
Sure.
That was where he went to coach, and after he last season he stayed on after he retired and coached.
Mm.
And but I could dig the Lions. I was a
Nice.
big Barry Sanders fan back in the day.
Shout
out
Barry
Barry
Sanders,
Sanders.
Herman
Oh, my
Moore.
goodness.
Shout out.
Oh
Ooh,
man.
yeah, deep cut.
All right, Ronimus.
What do you got for us
Incredible.
next, Ron?
This place right here,
Hey.
the 5 Point Sanctuary.
I
in
think it's
this-
pretty gas.
I'd say gas.
I would say that's 93.
I've never heard of it.
Monumental
Premium.
gas.
Premium gas.
Premium
I
gas.
think that's rocket fuel, dog.
That is
Yes.
that's it. That's
Hey.
a racing fuel.
We're talking
Nice.
NASA fuel, bro.
That's got that ethanol in it.
Better
baby.
understand.
Turbo diesel.
That's rocket fuel.
That is rocket fuel right there.
And I think the
Awesome.
last one
I've
goes
been to some
without
rocket
saying.
fuel shows in
Obviously,
there.
we love biscuits and gravy.
Of course,
gas.
That's a great segue.
It's why we're
gas.
here. You
Yeah,
know what
that
I
is.
mean?
Well,
it's
let's be critical for a minute and not
Yes.
just take, because you can hide a shitty biscuit with good gravy.
Talk to me about this
And
graphic you see right
you
here.
You can destroy a great biscuit with shitty gravy.
Very true.
Talk about it.
And so, just
Sheesh.
because the picture, remember we talked earlier, not every Big Mac looked like it
Yep.
looked on the picture.
That's 100%
The
right.
question becomes, where was this come from? Is this from a Cracker Barrel?
I'm not
It
too
does look
sure.
Cracker
that
Barrel,
gravy looks a
actually.
little
Because
runny.
then we
the
could
gravy
actually,
does
we
look a
could
little
actually
runny.
Equate
That
the
looks
biscuits.
crazy.
We have had the biscuits. from
Does look
Cracker
like the
Barrel.
Cracker Barrel biscuits we had today.
This is starting to become a trend. It's like the second or third time somebody's called out Ron's picture. Ron,
And
you better find some good-looking biscuits
it's-
and gravy.
we are bringing awareness. Tyler literally put it in better words than I could. There is a difference between good biscuits and gravy and just making the plate just to say you serve biscuits and gravy. Okay, we're talking quality over here.
Yep.
And people who really appreciate the arts will recognize the quality and say something. Okay?
I'm not convinced that this picture is quality.
I don't. Hey, listen, that's why it's
But
there.
why does the bowl behind it
I mean,
look good?
the coffee looks like it's probably got some, it's fresh.
God knows what in it. Yeah.
I don't know if
If
here's
it's
the
not
thing.
Ashes,
I
it's
don't
not
know that I
gas.
need the full bowl of biscuits, or the full bowl of gravy behind it.
Yeah.
I think I'm satisfied with that. If they put some like apple butter, some jams and stuff back there,
That's it.
I'd
We
be a
need
little more
accoutrement.
excited.
Yeah, there's no
That's a
need
lot of
for extra gravy.
I'm gonna struggle my way through the next day if I ate all that.
That's a
gravy.
big day.
I'm gonna gas the hell out of it because it's biscuits and gravy, and then I'll complain later.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's
That's
it.
fair.
We'll be critical later.
Right.
If you are out here though ordering extra gravy with your biscuits and gravy, stop ordering biscuits and gravy. I will say, okay. All right.
Damn.
I'm not gonna waste too much more time here because
Can
I
you
know
just
Eric.
bring it in the coffee mug for me?
Yeah. Absolutely.
Hey, what's in
Absolutely.
your Yeti, Don? Oh, it's just sausage gravy, man. No big deal. I add a little bit of milk to it, keep it nice and thin, and I just sip on it all day.
Sausage gravy smoothie.
That's it. It's all I need.
Nice.
Protein super high. Ron, you done?
That is all I have. Tyler, I appreciate you playing along. I
We
appreciate the
appreciate you, Ron.
conversation.
Thank you, Ronimus.
I'm all gas.
Keep
No
it pushing,
trash.
man. All gas, no brakes.
you're chasing all these other things in life right now. And I think as we go forward, artists learning to value their time and then legitimately have a path to get that value. It's really like what this place is kind of about, to think about that. We are not the place that pays you the most. I wish I could be.
Yeah.
It's about literally defining what does it take to be sustainable for what you need. And like start right there so that anytime we go to work with each other, we know at its core that your sustainability is at least being met. And if I can't provide that sustainability, well, I'm not really doing a great job of pursuing my mission. I'm not pursuing the power of sound, and I'm not empowering other people to do it. If I can't provide enough creative sustainability for that, again, it's not a big market, but it is a market that we should be able to sustain this kind of thing if we want to have a healthy creative community. And, but there are places in D.C. and Richmond and Asheville that have a lot of, a lot bigger audience. Here, again, it's like, what do we really need? And I know it's not just $100 to play for an hour or two. That just covered your time there.
Yeah.
And I don't pretend that you can always get that. But you don't ever get it until you at least think about what the fucking number is.
That's it.
My first year that I worked here, we lost $40,000. I think I paid myself less than 18. And I ground my way through like taking savings out and doing just got my way through it. I didn't start paying myself something that was like my wife felt okay about until like year 5 or 6.
Yeah.
And it's still not there. No one's ever going to get what they fucking think they're worth.
Yeah.
But if you believe in a creative process,
That's it.
you're willing to take those sacrifices and find a way to make it work. And that's kind of what I feel like what the goal is, We've been able to do a lot of cool creative things with a lot of amazing artists. And I don't want to take that for granted by any means. They've done a lot of things out of generosity. I should give them more money. But I got to figure out how to give it for them.
Yeah. It's the battle.
So that's the tour. That's the 5 Points Music Sanctuary, baby. Come back and check the show out.
Yes, sir. Woo! Ladies and gentlemen, it doesn't get any better than 5 Points. Incredible place to see some incredible local live music. And it is more than just about the music. It is about the power of sound. So make sure you check them out. Check out some tickets. And check out all the other awesome stuff going on under this roof.
5pointsmusic.com.
We're not haters here at Biscuits and Gravy. We're lovers of the human experience. But there are times, unfortunately, for me, where we've got to be critical. And now is one of those times. We are going to discuss the results of the Biscuits and Gravy tasting that happened at the beginning of this episode. That's right. What you've been waiting for all episode is here. Whose gravy was better, me or Klean? And where should you go to get the best biscuits? Gentlemen, I will open the floor for discussion.
I was about to say we need the whole.
Get the crew out here.
Well,
Ron, come on out.
It's true.
I think it's difficult for you guys to be arbitrary.
It's true, and I won't comment on the
this.
gravies. I won't comment on the gravies.
Okay.
And I think we do not have a odd number of votes here, so this could be a split draw.
Yeah,
It's true.
facts.
It's
and
true.
it could come down to whoever has the last thing to say. I'm going to tell you that the biscuits from Cracker Barrel trumped
He going for it.
the biscuits from Bojangles.
I like your style.
The Pillsbury biscuits, they were a little doughy.
They were a little
They were a
doughy.
little doughy. I can't. I mean,
Hey, you perfectly diagnosed why they were doughy
How
as
you
well.
fuck up
Yeah,
a Pillsbury
facts.
biscuit? I don't know.
Rushing.
Rush. It's okay.
Rushing was the
It's
only
okay.
was
It's
the
okay.
only.
That's
thing.
also how you get a crumbly biscuit. And
True.
ironically, we made a doughy biscuit. I didn't even know you could make a rush doughy biscuit. So now we have a whole new variable when you rush.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Gordon Ramsay of biscuits is tearing me a new one, and I'll never have a doughy biscuit again.
No,
This is how you learn right here.
I will say that your gravy was far and above most every gravy that you get out there because you had like 6 pounds of gravy. Your gravy to sausage ratio
Yep.
was like at the very least like 6-4.
That's
true
60-40,
analysis right here.
That's it.
60-40, 75-25 on the sausage gravy combo, ratio.
that's where we want it.
weighted towards the sausage, which means you put your money into. You put some money into it. You didn't just rely on milk.
That's it.
So good for you.
Not just milk and flour.
And it was really good. It got a nice peppery flavor. It depended on the biscuit they put it on. The Bohan glazed biscuits were pretty good. They're standard. You know what you're going to get with the Bohan glazed biscuit. It's not going to be real buttery. It's going to be crispy, but it'll go work really well with the gravy because it'll absorb all that stuff. Your gravy, Klean, I would have to say, was the type of gravy I want to eat.
Okay.
You know?
Fire.
I want to have that gravy. When I get a biscuit, it's a consistent gravy. Like, if I know I'm going to get that every time, I will never complain.
Okay. Right on. Love that. I mean? Consistency.
And then, so, your gravy, I eat the shit out of it every time. But at some point, the sausage is going to go the other way on me. And so there's a balance. Anyway, the gravy's going to go. I don't know. I don't even know what's worse. I don't know whether the sausage, I really don't know. But I do know that
it's true.
You overwhelm me with your expertise in terms of the ratio of sausage to gravy.
I do like to load my gravy up as much as I can.
Rockstar right there.
Are we rating our gravies?
I say just go for it. Yeah.
Just go.
All right. For the biscuit, I'm gonna be honest. I'm a sucker for the Bojangles biscuit.
Yeah.
I think it's once again, it is consistent. It's crispy. It's salty. It's fucking. It's fire.
It comes down to preference. It comes down to preference.
And
so, I root for the home team. I'm not going to run for president and not vote for myself. So,
let me ask you this real quick.
Clean gravy.
All right, what you got? What you got on your? What's your biscuit and your gravy?
Biscuit wise, I do love the fast food biscuit just because it's built for sandwiches, right? Like, it's built for structural integrity.
Yeah.
But also I like the crispiness. I like the contrast of textures.
Yeah.
Crispy with the fluffy. And like he said, it's a great. It absorbs the gravy well. So my vote goes to the Bojangles biscuit. But at the end of the day, you can't go wrong as long as it's flaky. I like a flaky biscuit over a crummy biscuit.
Thanks.
But that is, that's a point of personal preference.
Hell yeah.
From the gravy perspective, I of course am partial to my own, but I will say that yours came from a mix, which to me is very impressive because it's delicious. For delicious mix, it had great consistency, great texture, and it wows me like. I've had gravy from a can.
From scratch?
Yeah. I've had gravy from a can. I've had gravy from a bag. I've had gravy from, like microwave meals.
Yeah.
Like, it always amazes me, like, when a non-scratch gravy is delicious. So
I just salt and pepper it.
Huge credit.
That was like an underhanded compliment I've ever heard when you're like, it was the best packaged, gravy I ever had.
Well, I mean, he was forthcoming with it. If he was trying to say it was his mom's recipe, like,
he worked hard on it.
And people here enjoyed it more than mine. So
he whipped it real good though.
He did an excellent job. There's no backhandedness whatsoever. Full appreciation, respect.
I was about to say, I was like, well, I mean, I liked my gravy, but then I was like, damn, bro. I should have put more sausage in mine because I was like, I kind of like the beefiness of it.
No, you gave a distinction. I mean, you don't want to be like, you don't have to let the other guy be the sausage.
That's it. Klean's always enviable of how much meat I have.
He had to think and work his ass off for that. And he trying to make the biscuits, and he didn't make the biscuits.
Oh, my God.
You probably had less stress. Less time.
Hey, I've never made biscuits and gravy before.
The gravy just came out fine, and he's over here struggling to figure out whether or not he can keep the biscuits in the oven long enough.
It's true. It's true.
He's struggling. He's
Fumbling.
working hard. He's grinding for this to deliver. And so you could feel the sweat that he put into it.
It's true.
Hell yeah.
However, you accomplished something with a much more efficient method that can't be denied.
It's true. It was
crazy.
You didn't look sweated at all.
Let's go. Biscuits. I mean, they've been doing this for a long time. You don't play with them. You don't get it through a drive-through. You sit down and you eat it with random pictures of old white people. Cracker Barrel takes the cake.
Playing tic-tac-toe.
Playing tic-tac-toe, whatever they got on the table. Random little tea game. Yeah, Cracker Barrel. It's distinct. It's distinct. I don't feel like I've had a biscuit quite like that.
You got to be hella bored to come up with that tea game. I'm just saying.
Facts.
What is that?
Facts. Yeah. But it's just a fire biscuit. Now, Bojangles for me was a close second because Bojangles is nostalgic for me as well.
Facts.
So Bojangles, no knock on them at all. I will bang that any day. But Cracker Barrel takes the cake. As far as the gravy goes, this gentleman was a much tighter race than we are letting on, because I'll start with the Klean gravy. The Klean gravy is the traditional gravy. That's some shit you get from your grandma or something you get from that's old school. That's tradition. So that's near and dear to my heart. It's the type of shit that'll clog up your arteries immediately. It's how thick it was. And then you got Otts. You got Mr. Eric Reynolds, the sausage man. Pause. He put his heart and soul into that. The homemadeness of it tugs on my heartstrings.
I just should.
And it should. He put in a lot of effort on that, and I like that. And I like the sausage ratio. I'm glad you brought that up. The sausage ratio was just immaculate.
I'm with you on that.
And I like the spice. So it depends on what mood I'm in. I could swing either way. But for tonight, I'm going to side with the spice and go with Mr. Reynolds on this one.
Oh.
All right.
And I have lost my job. I will not see you next episode.
I appreciate you. The roundhouse kick you're going to receive as soon as we cut, I can't protect you from it, but I just know that I appreciate your willingness to take it.
It was very close. In fact, it took me until that very moment of saying it to make the decision.
Thank you.
That's how close it was.
Thank you for waiting.
All right, what we doing? Production
come
table.
on, y'all come out. Come on, just come on.
All
over.
right, I'm gonna go first since Ron had to step away.
Do we have a camera? Is there a camera on Will?
There's not a cam. I don't deserve to be on
Get
camera.
out on camera.
No, I need a mic.
Who is that? Can't see him.
I can't see him. I don't know who he is.
We're giving some love. I will give some love to the salt or the sausage ratio. Eric gets some love on that. I was not a fan of the sausage to salt ratio though. A little salty if I had to be honest.
Understood.
And I come from a salty household. My mom loves salt.
Understood.
Running through the veins. I'm not a big fan of it.
Valid criticism.
We had to go biscuits. You can't beat the chains. Cracker Barrel was up there. I feel like if it was a fresh, Bojangles might have been taking the cake. I will say, I think Max's gravy and the biscuit was gas. I will say you threw a little shade on that being a mix.
There was no shade.
It's
just the reason people need to know that they can get a mix.
It's just a fact.
And have great gravy.
I get that.
Mixed at the Amish store down the street.
I want people to know
and the biscuit from the country store.
I won't accept mix hate.
With that said, that was my one takeaway from that. Max, your biscuit was fire, but the bottoms were burnt.
Hey,
so how did his biscuit
Your biscuits
win?
were really good though.
Because I had the
they
top.
were
It
really
was
good.
banging, but how'd they
I
win?
had the
great.
top of his biscuit.
Well, they're not handmade either. I got them from the country store, and I literally normally go in there and get fried chicken and stuff. And I was like, "Yo, I know you guys got biscuits. Can I get some?" And I was like, "Can I get them like uncooked, like frozen?" No. He sold me just like 3 uncooked biscuits.
Oh no shit! So you still
and I
cooked
brought
them?
them home so I could cook them
Wow.
like in time, so it wasn't
That's
like,
incredible.
Like, I made it myself.
That's
Max,
incredible.
my only comment is you should have let him
I'm
cook them
shouting
there.
that out.
You said what?
You should have let him cook them there. But other than that,
Leave it. Let the Amish cook. Damn it. If I wouldn't.
All right, Ronimus.
Oh
what's
boy,
up?
this is gonna be bad.
All right, so I'm gonna skip the fluff. Okay, so
Shit.
I am gonna go with the Cracker Barrel biscuit.
Thank
but
Good call.
that Bojangles biscuit though, jeez. Okay, I'm not gonna dwell much on it because we talked about them already. But I am gonna go to Cracker Barrel biscuit. Gravy. Okay, Eric's was salty with a lot of sausage. Max was normal,
Traditional.
and
It's a life.
the yeah. I'm gonna go with Eric on the gravy this time around.
Are we split? Where are we at?
But
with that?
it needs to be clear. I know we've said this already, but it needs to be clear. Max's gravy is good.
It's good. Not only good, it's great.
It's great.
You hear that, ladies?
It's great.
Okay. If you're wondering if Maxwell Klean can cook, the man knows his way.
The man knows his way around a kitchen.
You know,
He knows his way around a mix.
He has his bearings in there, okay?
I mean, he called
It's fundamental.
He called his mixtape snacks.
Come on.
Hey,
Does he not know what he's talking about?
you know
Come on
I
now.
was in the kitchen back
It
He don't
makes
even
too
be
much
eating like that
sense.
though.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you, Ron.
Hey, appreciate that.
We appreciate
Thank you,
that.
Ron. Thank you for the feedback.
And ladies and gentlemen, we appreciate you for hanging out to see the results of our biscuits and gravy taste test. The first time that we have eaten biscuits and gravy on camera in 62 episodes. This is the first time.
It was a defying biscuit.
Thank
winner,
God
wasn't
somebody
it? The
came in here and
Bojangles?
talked some
I would
sense
say.
to me.
Bojangles had 4.
62 episodes.
Yeah, but
y'all
not
never
for
had
everybody.
biscuits and gravy.
Yeah, I know,
I was
right?
like, what the hell?
It
That's
really
that's
is.
the whole
Guy who
reason I
runs
called.
it.
When I hit you up, I was like, I don't think you guys realize just how qualified I am for this.
Yeah.
He's extraordinarily
I told him when we had our phone calls, like, yo, he actually knows his shit about biscuits and gravy right
Yes.
now. Like, he gave me this whole 20-minute story about what makes
were
a
excited.
perfect biscuit.
We
And
were
so,
excited
yeah, we definitely
for
got
that
we got
aspect
that
of
on
it.
excited
camera.
about it.
No, it was really fun to dive into that, and it's kind of funny that we're like a music podcast named after biscuits and gravy, and you're incredibly involved in the music community in Roanoke, and you also have this expanse of knowledge about biscuits. It is quite literally perfect for our show, so we appreciate you coming on, man.
I
This has been
appreciate
awesome.
you embracing me, guys, up here. It's really nice to meet you all, and let's kind of get up here and talk a little bit about something other than just music, but talk about food, good people,
Yeah.
all the great things going on around us. So thank you all very much. I really had a great time here.
Ladies and gentlemen, there are a lot of incredible places in this valley to explore your creative energy and pursue it to all kinds of whimsical and delightful ends, but there really is no better place to see live music in this valley that is strictly dedicated to music than 5 Points Music Sanctuary. It is truly a one-of-a-kind experience, and I hope to see every one of you there because I'll be there. It is the place where the grooviest tunes are. Make sure you're checking out the upcoming shows. Get your tickets now because this place has a great habit of selling out. So
5pointsmusic.com. I remind people too, that as a nonprofit, we do need people's support. As we go towards the end of the year, even if it's $5, if it's $25, anything you can do to support our fundraising campaigns at the end of the year, help us to continue to do what we do and expand on our programs. So go to 5pointsmusic.com, check out all the shows, read about our story. If you want to rent a venue, for throw a Christmas party or something like that, we're the perfect place to come and rock out.
Nice.
So thank you guys so much for all your help and listening to what we do and being part of it. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
And we thank you for joining us. We will see you guys at 5 Points for the next great show. Like we always say, down here in Klean Studios, find somebody you love, tell them that you love them, and for God's sakes, don't be a prick. And we are out.
Ayo, Klean.
Freak that shit.